Hello and welcome, little chatfish, to a... I have hiccups. What a great start that is. Wonderful. It's always something. So, yes. There's many articles that we have to go through. Just kidding, there's only two. Only two little articles. This one was submitted by little Squealy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, Jesus Louises. It's just my life. Nintendo's anti-Palworld monster capture patent applications has been rejected by Japanese patent office. Lacked an inventive step. This is pretty big. Japan patent office rejects Nintendo application relevant to Palworld dispute, cites game like Ark as prior art after third-party submission. Words that are underlined. Blah, blah, blah. I can't read Japanese. Okay, so basically they got rejected. Now, is this did any of them go through? I don't actually know. Either way, let's get back into it and try not to hiccup it as much. God damn it. So this is a big news because if it gets rejected in Japan, then that kind of sucks all the air out of the room for Nintendo. By the way, for those who missed it, this is Shadow Fox donates $20 and says, "You cat trap, take care of yourself better." And yay, Nintendo might get a slap down. Yes, this is a good thing for all of humanity, mostly due to the fact that. Are we done? Are you done, body? All right. Mostly for the fact that them losing is... fucking kill myself. I like how I see that and I see Black Lives Matter and I just immediately just go like never... This trend is harmful and abusive. Yes, now get it out of here. Just like this one. This trend is harmful and abusive too. You know what? They're all harmful and abusive as far as I'm concerned. They're abusing me. They're harmful. They're harming me. Alright, so. Now that I've falsely reported things, where was I? Yes, of course. This is a big deal because if Nintendo loses this kind of sucks all the air out of the room for any of the argumentation for basically suing Palworld. And this also basically allows Palworld to actually breathe. Because the big thing that could be dangerous, God help me, is that being buried in litigation by a massive corporation. I hate Twitter. It just refreshes with new fucking things. What if I just don't want anything? But yeah. It refreshes with, refreshes. The hiccups really threw me off today. God help me. But yeah, so the big thing here is that's super important is that with this, basically, this means that Nintendo loses a lot. No, we're grabbing a drink. Fuck this. 1 second. You gotta be shitting me. It's every goddamn fucking day. Some ginger ale ought to do it. I didn't want to have more soda today, but God forced me to. Oh, God forbid, you know. That didn't help. I hiccuped while drinking. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. I hate the subject. The subject is now tainted, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. But we gotta. So, this is a subject Chatfish brought up, and I said I would talk about it every time they do it. And thank you for the donation, Shadow Fox. Very generous. We are almost a third of the way towards today's goal. Very generous. Don't forget there's a new fund, Cooking with Kibs. That's right, I will produce cooking videos to help teach Chatfish how to cook. That or Chatfish will yell at me because I lit my room on fire or something. I don't know. Fuck it. You know, because I'm a good cook, and you all need to worship me as a divine god. But that besides the point. My narcissistic god complex that's coming out because I've got fucking hiccups. Every character flaw that I can conceive of. I'm developing it. I'm developing it right now, here on the spot, live on the air. Because I have hiccups. Because I had hiccups. it just ruins the train of thought is what it does. But yeah, it's big. It's a big deal. It's great because it means that Nintendo can't bully another corporation or company into the ground. And that means that there'll actually be more competition. More competition will force Nintendo to make better games and will ultimately basically be a good thing. Like either adapt or die is the big thing here. Palworld isn't fucking stealing Pokemon. It's not actually Pokemon. It's very similar, yes, but it's very distinct and uniquely different. Firstly, it's got friggin' machine guns and shit. Pokemon's for kids. It doesn't have machine guns and, you know, rocket launchers and killing people and stuff like that. Well, it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. Like, not directly. It doesn't really go into as much detail or grotesqueness as the Palworld game does. But the big thing is that with that, hopefully this continues to deflate Nintendo's case. And hopefully Nintendo will just back off and actually force them to, instead of wasting money on pursuing legal, you know, action against various companies, they can actually focus on maybe, just maybe, investing some of that money into actual games and some of the IPs they have. You know, I don't know, like Pikmin or, you know, Battalion Wars or Advanced Wars or God knows how many other things they're sitting on. They're sitting on so much, it's not even funny, by the way. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for them to actually start looking into it, and who knows, maybe even consider, you know, thinking outside the box, stop being locked in your own little box, and produce games and put them out on Steam, you know? Imagine if they sold the Mario collection on Steam. It would sell like hotcakes. It would. You could do the Master Chief collection, but call it the Mario collection. Bada bing, bada bam. I just made you billions of dollars. Instead, you're just burning your money trying to sue Palworld for something you can't do. Like, oh my god, help me. Kibbs doesn't know real Pokemon lore. Kibbs doesn't need to know real Pokemon lore. Because Kibbs has played a couple Pokemon games and it doesn't fucking matter. The difference is that Pokemon, the video game, doesn't actually have as much gratuitous violence as Palworld does. That is just a pure fact. Because if you don't know what Palworld is. Palworld's like literally got machine guns, rifles, and everything else. You're beating animals to death on a regular basis. And then harvesting them. And using them as slave labor. I don't want to hear it. And it's based as hell. It's okay, Cubes. It's cute when you hiccup. Oh, I don't want to be cute. I want to be me, which is not that. Me is not cute. Me is just Kib. Me is sitting here with big bags under eyes, looking very, very, very drained. But yes, thank you for your generous donation. I very much appreciate it. I have to open up all the things in the back end. I don't know if anybody is tracking. But I won't touch anything because I don't really know where we are. Because I don't know what's happening. So, Mario Bing Bang Bang Boohoo ejection? Objection. The original manga had. Oh my god, play into the dumpster with you. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is pedantry. Pedantry. Good job, kitten. Little chin scratches for you, you little whisker boy. Thank you, master. He says that with love and stuff. So yeah, that's good. The thing I brought, because I actually brought something, because I saw that chat didn't grab shit, so I'm gonna do it. I brought the Bannerlord thing because it looked kind of cute. So yeah, they're showing off the new Bannerlord multiplayer expansion. No, wait, I'm retarded. The Bannerlord naval expansion adds floaty boaty boats. Oh my god, little kiwi fish. There you are. He's a kiwi. Look at him. Just rubs his little chin. He's like, whoa. Starts screaming at me. You know, because his little chin whiskers fall off. Kiwi, did you get yourself a chatfish this year? I think you did, right? If not, just apply for a charity fish. By the way, if you haven't gotten a chatfish this year, apply for a charity fish. DM me in DMs and I will set up the charity fund. I will make sure everybody gets on the end of the year banner. I gotta make sure that nobody's left behind this year. It's important that you're all on the banner. Because I hang it up on my wall. So yeah, you can take control of the ballista. You can. The ships have rams. Bear in mind this is like 4th century naval combat, so you might see things like Greek fire, perhaps. Welcome stream, little Bendio. Yeah, that's definitely got ramming capabilities. And the wind is in the bottom right. You got your different abilities, so you can easily toggle between the... I still think they need to add like an RTS like camera by default. Yep, ancient sites. It sort of doesn't have them, you know what I mean? So they got like what, marginals on the front of those? Or are those actually archers? No, that can't be. I'm thinking like a marginal on the front. Which I did think they did actually have. It's just a giant rock. Oh damn, he got a kill. Good job. The question is, how clusterfucky does naval combat get in this game? It looks pretty. I'm not gonna lie. Like the waves look good. It looks oceanic. You're going in for a ram. Oh boy. Yeah, that ship should be boned, by the way. Yep, it's sinking, and it sinks fast. Oh my god. They just shot into the water and killed all those people. I wonder if they're going to show us a boarding action. So the one thing that's interesting about this expansion, though, is that we're finally getting it, but this is actually supposed to be only a sliver of the content we're actually owed. So the studio's in massive trouble right now. Because if this is it, this is kind of like, oh, that's kind of not good. Because I don't think the campaign overhaul is actually hit yet. Another ship rammed. The ramming looks pretty solid. Yeah, no, this is truly new to the franchise. But there was, if I remember right, when I was looking at the roadmap, they're super behind. Like, there was supposed to be a ton of stuff out by now that hasn't been, like, hit. Which is not good. It means that there's some development troubles. But it's not all bad, because, again, you do see a naval expansion. So hopefully they'll get their shit together and get on board. So yeah, there's boarding. Looking good. You can order dudes to, you know, board over. There's little ropes that they can cross. Now you can fall in the water. His armor's not dragging him down like I would expect it to. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, part of it should be scary falling in the water, you know what I mean? Like, the scary part is if you're wearing lots of armor, you should be dragged under. And just like screaming as you descend into crush depth. For your little organs to implode. Get a bit low. But you can do like damage to the boats. Is it somebody puking or is it somebody dying? It's weird. I think he's trying to bring him around. Gotta be careful though, because you could accidentally ram a friend. I wonder if there's friendly ramming. That'd be such a clusterfuck with the oars getting that close. Commodore says, trying to swim with armor is extremely hard in the army. We were taught to ditch our IOTV and to survive. Yeah, because from historical accounts that I know of too, like not just like modern stuff, but like antiquity and medieval, like you fell in the water and you're wearing armor, like it's a sad day. It's a sad day for Chatfish. It's a sad, because you're going down to the bottom. Like, whoa. Popping shots. As you can see, like shooting the arrows here, you have to factor in for the fact that the boats are both moving. But it seems like it's not too bad, all things considered. But maybe it's hard to tell because this is from like a developer perspective. I think I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it was from their website. Yeah, this is their actual channel. So far, it looks pretty good though. The naval combat will really keep things fresh because it kind of feels like, you know, just ground warfare is just like, you know, only so much. Now, hopefully they expand other systems like politics or like starts and stuff like that. More flavor. More things in general. I know mods do some of that, but like, good to get that in the base game as well. I did also hear that the Lord of the Rings mod was dropping. For the Bannerlord game. Are they gonna add airplanes? Probably not. He fell in the water and there's all those little dead guys. I'm unsure how many of those guys would actually float, though. Some would, if they weren't wearing too much armor, but I feel like a great deal of them would sink. I want an expansion dedicated to your fiefdom and empire management. Yes. I want them to do that. I also want them to do, like, mercenary bands, like, expansion, where it fleshes out, like, being a mercenary in a mercenary company with, like, different, like, legacies and stuff like that. And then, like, a brigand expansion. And then literally just, like, owning a minor fiefdom or whatever. Or, like, being, like, expanding, like, the type of things you can do in the game. It would be cool. Because there's a lot of potential. So long as Tailworlds keeps working on the game, that's good. The big problem is that the developers were given a lot of government money, and I don't think that helped them in the long run, because it's kind of led this game to take, like, forever to put out content. And I mean, truly forever. Like, these guys put out stuff what feels like at the state of molasses. It is good that we're getting it, though, but it's something you gotta work on in terms of speed. Nice shot. He missed. This would have been a good second or third expansion, I feel. Yeah, the naval expansion is kind of like weird to do now. It's still good. Especially considering they wanted to expand the map to keep things fresh. I think this is the best way to do it. I think if they did that expansion, Czar, I don't think it would be as big publicity-wise. I think the naval expansion is good for publicity, and then they can do, like, things like that. Though I do agree with, like, everything needing expansion. For me, I was, like, waiting for them to fix the starts. I like how it's just, like, every goddamn Bannerlord game. Is get behind the dudes and just smack them in the back.
Gibbs is doing news without me.
There's Fuzzy. Jimmy Fuzzy Wuzzy. And then chat just throws rocks at him. Looking at the new Bannerlord stuff, Fuzzy.
I haven't really followed Bannerlords, and no thoughts really. I'm not that experienced in this game at all.
It's basically, think of it as sandbox Total War, except you're like a little dude and you can like run around. You can make your own kingdoms, and you can also fight for kingdoms if you don't want to do that, or be like a brigand. You can build your own army, you customize your dudes, you get different armor, you go to tournaments. It's supposed to be like, yeah, basically think of it as like if Medieval 2 was third person and you had to like build your armies from scratch.
Also, you're not streaming your screen.
Oh yeah, I gotta fix that. 1 second, chat. I will pause the video. And I will grab Aerith and throw her in here. Because she's really good at streaming my desktop. There we go. Perfection. Well, I'm streaming CT.
I'm about to say some stuff Volbus sent me.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, CT. I do like Bannerlord. I'm liking it now. I was very, like, not a big fan initially because it was, like, kind of a weaker warband. But it's finally actually catching up. I, again, kind of blame government funding for this problem. Because I think because of that, the studio sort of took it lax. And then just bought, like, a bunch of things they didn't need. Now that they're actually having to produce stuff on their own, it's good. It's a Turkish
also, they're
dev.
located in Turkey. Yeah,
Yep.
Turkey, and that country is going through some quite the economic nightmare.
Yeah, so the devs now got to put shit together. The boarding actions look cool. You can ram stuff if you missed it, Fuzzy. You can sink ships that way.
Yeah. To give an idea, 33.3% inflation year on year.
Pleasant.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, it's good to see Bannerlords be flushed out. That game's been... Oh, waiting on that game for a long, long time.
My god. You can always tell when somebody's played in a while. See, if I played this, I'd be like fucking up all the time. He's hitting heads a lot. Yeah, the naval combat looks chaotic and good. Especially because you can see ships off in the distance. It makes it feel really chaotic. I will say that the allied ships are now, like, trying to ram the ship that the player is on. So yeah, the UI displays ship health. Now, is there a bonus for, like, not doing that? Can you capture ships? Or can you loot them? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, because the dudes actually have to detach from the ship. Soldiers! The giant masts and stuff like that really does look good.
Yeah, it does look good for his type of warfare.
The mast now clipping through the bridge area. That's funny. Let him go forward. He's gonna go get him. Yeah, getting government involvement usually in game development is not a good idea. Ooh, that's pretty good.
Especially the Turkish government.
Oh, they boarded. Little dudes running across. Damn, right in the face. Whiffed that cinematic shot. The one that you can't tell is genuine because the fact that he whiffed it.
Which is preferred to the scripted gameplay you see a lot of the time.
Now, what's great about this is that means the modders can take advantage of this. The Japanese mod and the Tolkien mod, as well as any other mods. There's a Warhammer Fantasy one, and there's also a what the fuck is it? Antiquity Rome and 4th century Rome, as well as medieval. So yeah, there'll be like a ton of stuff. Naval combat's gonna add quite a bit. Seems like the pathing for those ladders, despite how janky it looks because it wiggles, seems to be okay. But I wonder if we'll find out any edge casing things later. Yeah, that looks interesting. I think the naval expansion does bring a lot to the table and looks like it's going to add quite a bit to the game. The real question is there any posts? Okay, let's see. Time to check the discussions. Did chat post anything? Oh my god, they did. Chatfish, I'm so proud of you. You're actually doing the
Robin
thing.
posted stuff.
They're actually
Bunch of
doing their
stuff.
job. Chatfish will actually... I'm going to spare chat. Chat's going to live another day. It's like, thank you, master. And then they fucking die. They're just fucking dead. All Chatfish are gone. Oh my god.
Yeah, we have more Power World news.
Oh, I already talked about the Pal World news. You missed it. Oh, not Peter fucking Molyneux, man. Please.
Yes,
It's
Peter
not
Molyneux.
funny to put him back in my timeline, please. God fucking damn it. Chatfish,
It's
no!
about redemption. That
Oh my
title.
god, fucking no. New World is
Yes.
dead. Amazon's ends. New content update following massive layoffs, says servers will be live through 2026. This is Jeff Bezos throwing a hissy fit, in my opinion, because I looked at the concurrent numbers and it's like 20,000 to 60,000 for this game still, which is like okay, it's as for MMOs go, like on life support, that's fine. And so, but it's because it's basically just going to be they're pulling the plug on actually content support, and so they're just going to let it run and they're going to milk it until they pull it like all the way down. The big thing here, what the fuck? Stupid fucking capture card. This shit ain't fucking copyrighted. Fuck up or I'll fucking stab you. Oh my god. I hate this capture card so much. No capture card should do that. No capture card should do that. Ugh. Ass. Alright, so. New World is dead. Amazon ends new content. Yeah. So basically they're pulling the plug on this. It's kind of Jeff Bezos pulling like a, oh, well, I couldn't beat World of Warcraft, so I'm going to go. Yet again, yeah, Battlefield's nail in the head. Again, World of Warcraft, all other MMOs. The big issue here is even though World of Warcraft isn't doing well, World of Warcraft right now is doing better now than any other MMO still. That's just facts. Like Final Fantasy Online, pff, no. Like the problem is that none of these things can compete. World of Warcraft is kind of like they just do what they do better. Like again, like fucking private servers do better than a lot of these new MMOs. Fucking private servers for World of Warcraft. It's just like you really can't dethrone it.
No, they can't. And instead of trying to stand on their own 2 feet, they'll try and just do that, but different.
Yep, it's like they don't want to actually do anything. Sunk cost fallacy, that does play a role, Baphios. The big thing is World of Warcraft has so many years of built up things, and often when you play other MMOs, it always kind of feels like a new MMO might do something unique or have something cool. Like for example, Star Wars: The Old Republic Online has really cool like custom voice lines for everything, and it's like really good, like across the board. And it's just like I can't stress enough how good Star Wars: The Republic's story is for an MMO. And Final Fantasy Online also has a really good story. Granted, after 100 hours of ass content, but it does get better. Oh my god, it's 100 hours of just awfulness. But it does actually get better after that. Oh, so bad. You talk about 15-minute hook to 100-hour hook, excuse me. But yeah, so like these things, like again, like they do those well. Like Star Trek Online has a good space combat system, but everything else is kind of terrible. And like Elder Scrolls Online, it has like a dedicated following, but at the same time, it's not just World of Warcraft, and that's fine. That's fine. That's those games do okay, right? And that people can play them and have fun. The big problem is that each one of them tried their damnedest to kill World of Warcraft or like try to replace it, and they end up doing one of two things: figuring out their niche and surviving, or fucking failing. And it seems like New World is choosing, instead of figuring out its niche, which it kind of has a niche, by the way. There are people who enjoy this. But instead of actually sticking to their niche, they're pulling the plug. Because they don't want to accept the fact that they're not going to be able to compete with World of Warcraft. And so because of that, they're going to pull the plug and be done. Which again is dumb. This is yet again another case of a game is successful, because I don't like New World, but New World is successful right now. And people like it, and some people like it. And instead of being like, yeah, it's a relative success for what it is, let's give it content support that's equal to its success to keep it going, you know, and stuff like that. No, we're just going to pull the plug. It's kind of what happened to Star Wars: The Old Republic as well, where they kind of pulled the support for that. Like, it does get, like, an occasional expansion, but it's, like, fucking... It's very limp dick, I'm not going to lie to you boys. And to be frank, the best part of the Old Republic Online was literally the first storyline. The first storyline is fucking awesome. The expansions, it's just kind of like a slow slide off a hill. It's like, oh, like off the edge you go, you know? Like, it's not pleasant. You're not gonna enjoy it, but here you go. It was a bit interesting. It was a bit interesting. It wasn't for me. I really didn't care for how, like, the resource system works. I didn't like how the guild system works. I didn't like how towns worked. Or any of that. But yeah. I just didn't like the crafting system. I also hated the fact that in the quests, you had to run from, like, one end of the fucking map to the other to do repeatables. Oh my god, don't remind me about that. Like, it had a rough launch. Oh, some of that stuff was so painful. And there was no mount until much later. I think they added one later. Do you mean you didn't like the Eternal Empire? No, I thought the Eternal Empire was terrible. The Eternal Empire is like one of those, like, when did this happen in Star Wars lore? It's like, yeah, so there's like some emperor dude and he's like got this infinite fleet and he's like super scary. But like he got his ass kicked and then died, so it didn't matter. It's like, okay. Oh my god, help me. Yeah, because the big thing in New World was the traveling. The traveling killed me on the inside. It took, I kid you not, 30 fucking minutes to go to do a quest, and each zone would generate like 3 quests for you around the town you set your home to, right? Or like 3 areas you'd have to go, and they'd always be on the other ass end of these big map things. And it would take approximately like an hour and 60 or 30 minutes to just like run all over the place to do these things. It was terrible. It was terrible. I hated it, and I wanted to die. The Emperor's other empire. Yeah, his side hoe. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, the big thing that sucks here, though, and the thing we need to actually focus on, besides, like, critiquing the game for its faults that it did have, who knows, maybe it addressed those. I don't know. I didn't keep playing it. But the big thing is that this is important because this is about video game preservation, actually, again. So these servers might be going down. No, fuck that. That's wrong. They will be going down. It is a matter of time until they go down. What happens?
Through 2026, not after.
Yeah. So God only knows how long that's going to be until they eventually pull the plug. And so anybody who invested any money or bought anything for this game, you're going to lose everything, and then this whole game will be lost to time. The only thing I can think of, the right action would be to release this, making it like free for everybody. Or not free for everybody, sorry. Release the server tools so that people can host private servers and they can start making their own content. Because that's how private servers for World of Warcraft work, where they make custom content, custom quests, custom classes. We've played on some. We tried WoW Ascension. It was pretty fun. There's a lot of crazy stuff they did there with like completely unique like zones and stuff like that. And we're doing a series with Chatfish in the Discord server, which you should join. Kiwi. It's a kiwi. And he's a little fruit, and we just slice him open. Why has Thuggish Ruggish Dome says, why hasn't Reguline been deported yet? He's currently gaming in the Discord server, being a nerd. Like, gaming. Oh my god, I fucking hate Squealy. So yeah, this is important because, again, when it comes to what's that movement called in Europe? I already forgot its name, because it doesn't affect us at all. What's the name? Is it video game preservation, started by Ross? It's important and it's good. Chatfish, help me. No, it's not called National Socialism. Oh, Jeff. Say communism. Communism. Who cares? Oh my god, it's not called Who Cares. You stupid fucking Chatfish. Stop killing games. Good, fishies. Good, yes. Thank you. Stop. I set the stream to low latency, so either you guys have low latency in your brain or I do. But yeah, so basically... stop killing games would basically be... It would affect this. However, I think it's a little too late for it to do anything for this game, because it hasn't actually gone through. It's only being debated, which means God knows how long that's gonna fucking take for it to actually get movement there. But it is moving. The issue is that will that matter for this game or will that not? Because there's two options here that's gonna happen. is Amazon just going to pull the plug on this thing? Or is Amazon going to do the right thing and release all the server tools and like editing stuff and then to the general public for public domain? Because you're not going to be using it anymore. You're pulling the plug and you're done with it. So they're not going to. Yeah, I know. Like they won't. They never do. What's weird is you get companies like Electronic Arts that does the stuff like that though. We're like, here's the source code, here's this, here's that. Every time you look into it though, it's because a lot of the EA people are like usually like big fans that have worked their way up the ladder. i.e. CNC. And that's what happened with the Sage engine this year. I believe it was this year that the Sage engine was actually released as source code. And source code was released, which is a big deal for the modding scene for Command and Conquer, by the way. Which actually sparked a huge renaissance in the overall modding scene, because a lot of the tools that were hidden and assets and stuff all of a sudden were accessible and easy to tweak and edit. Not to mention they also patched and apparently improved some of the modding tools, which was a very nice thing of them to do. I know it's the internal team, their way of saying, we wish we could make another Command & Conquer, but this is the best we can do for you. At least they threw us a bone. Better than nothing. Okay. Team Ed D Lord says Amazon didn't need it. Amazon Games is different department, or has other games as well as their is long rumored Lord of the Rings. If their Lord of the Rings game has anything to do with that fucking trash TV show, Rings of Power, it's just dead. It's dead on arrival. The only way you can set this right is set it in the Peter Jackson version of Tolkien's universe. That's it. The Peter Jackson interpretations of Lord of the Rings is your best bet. It's as good as you're going to get. And as good as... Wasn't the Lord of the Rings game canceled recently? Oh my god, I swear to god if that's that. Lord of the Rings MMO, Kibs? Are you talking about the Lord of the Rings MMO that's existing today? See, here I was thinking that they were going to launch a new one. You're talking about that fucking awful one. Oh god. People were like, it's good. It's like, okay, yes, it's faithful, more faithful to Tolkien stuff than any other, but like, it ain't good. Like, I played it, chat. Oh my god. Oh, it's pain. It's in that early MMO era of being just like, just kind of crap, where it's like, oh, it's just a little bit, It's like Star Wars Galaxies. Like, I got to play that for the first time and was like, oh my god, I always imagined what it was in my head as a kid. Man, my imagination was way better than reality. It wasn't bad, it was just kind of, it was a different experience, because that was before MMOs were revolutionized by World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft made more MMOs, not just social gatherings, but also more games. It had more gameplay, which is weird, because it's considered to have less gameplay than some modern MMOs do nowadays. But when it came out, it had a lot more, compared to what everything else was sort of like chat boxes or chat rooms. Like Matrix Online was like that, from what I remember reading about. Not that I ever played it. The New World game got second lease on Life Ethereum, but the Amazon gaming is sub-sector of Amazon. It's not the main one for Bezos to stay afloat. Wasn't there a Lord of the Rings game canceled recently? Yeah, I read that. I read that, Chatfishies. Oh. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. New World Eternal will remain available for purchase, and you'll still be able to buy in-game currency. Of course you will be able to. As usual, although I'm not sure why you'd want to, because let's be honest, the countdown clock is ticking. Yeah, even the journo here knows that. As soon as they say that, but Amazon is only committed to keeping New World servers live through 2026, and the likelihood of it surviving beyond that, especially given the self-fulfilling swirl of declining players counts, is very slim. Yes, the game is already going to die. The minute they announce they're going to pull content support, anyone who was interested in getting in, anyone who was in, is now going to slowly start peter-pattering out. It'd be like the equivalent of me pulling the plug on Terrestrial War. Like, you know what would happen to our, like, little tiny tester group? It would just like, implode. They would all fucking, like, fade away. Why? Because there's no new content. There's not enough stuff there to hold it together. New World is kind of shoddy as is. Like, it's not the worst thing ever made. Like, I don't like it, but it's one of those things where it's definitely in need of more content badly. And so if you pull the plug on it, it's just cooked.
Problem is, Amazon's management style has been utter garbage. They just don't know how to run a gaming business.
Yeah, so
It's like
far.
they've been throwing so much money at it, and yet they've been mismanaging those funds and resources for a very long time.
The only game that we played from Amazon Games that has any potential is March of Giants. March of Giants was
Yes.
surprisingly. Now, here's the thing, though. That was the alpha slash beta, right? All those games are always so much fun in the beta, and then they turn into absolute dog shit afterwards because the esports gamers come in and just shit all over the game. So, I don't know if March of the Giants is going to hold up over time. It seems to be that March of the Giants might be their only hope for a actual, like, solvent game. But we'll have to wait and find out. Welcome, Stream McLean. Yamo Graveyard, then the game is already kind of dead. To be honest, I stopped playing when they... this is Team of Dealer, by the way. They couldn't get their servers right or system. The server politics and other economical was bad. The server would be good till toxic PV guilds either or backstabbing ruined 3 to 4 servers I was on got transferred. Yeah, so the big issue is because of how New World's like game works and how they're... Not only they're just economy, right? World of Warcraft has an economy. World of Warcraft also has like guilds and stuff, right? And you can have some guilds that are kind of hostile on certain servers, but it's never been as bad as New Worlds, because New Worlds they can actually own like territories and impose taxes and stuff, and so they can be really, really, really hostile. Like depending on how that works, because the way that game works is way more nightmarish because it's more player influenced. The more player influenced your game is, the worse it gets. EVE Online is a case in point. Some people like that stuff, and I love the idea of it on paper, but in actual practice, I hate that shit. Because that's what that turns into, is it turns into hell.
It turns into a second job.
Yup.
Yep. On top of New World, that would only work if you have a certain small player base, but the fact is you're throwing a whole bunch of people in with such limited resources. It's gonna get gobbled up and it's gonna be so horrendously inaccessible. So you have what? 1,000 players are fighting for over 12 pieces of property. How well do you think that's gonna go?
Yep. I mean, the one case in point I have of my own experiences, because I don't have a whole lot with this. Like, I only have EVE Online for what I played of that. But the one time I had an experience with World of Warcraft, where it kind of relates sorta to this, was when we first joined a server called FizzCrank with my pops and I and our friend group. And we joined there, and because we were the first there when Wrath of Lich King came out, we had like a monopoly on the market for a little bit. And because we had a monopoly on the market, we literally could charge whatever we wanted, and that's how we got like a bajillion gold. Because initially, that just to get started, you kind of had to engage with it. But that only lasted like a month, not even probably. It was probably like a week. My brain's probably telling me it was a month, but it was nice while it lasted. Because then eventually the economy stabilizes. But yeah, if you get somebody that monopolizes certain things, it can get real bad. Real bad. Man, that's that game, and it's looking like it's cooked. Arc Raiders launches to over 260,000 concurrent players and 88% positive early reviews on Steam, outdoing the finals even at $40. When you, let's see, Arc Raiders is finally out when devs acknowledge the insanity of launching between Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7. Yeah, the thing is, it seems like, well, I mean, it's not too surprising because you're not actually competing with them at the same time. Like, if you were Titanfall, maybe, because you're also a shooter and a first-person shooter at that, right? Arc Raiders is a third-person sort of extraction shooter, correct? But PvP. It's sort of like a battle royale, I believe. Let me double check. Let me just double check real quick, Chatfish, just to be on the safe side. $40 is actually a really reasonable price, so that's a very good price to charge. Extraction shooter, PvP, PvE. Open world. Is it not a battle royale? I forgot to have that loop. Wait, did my headphones die?
Extraction adventure set in a lethal future.
That froze. My music froze. Windows music is trash. Everything's trash on Windows. I hate fucking Windows so much. Chad, help me. Okay. There we go. Back in we go. Extraction shooters feel overdone or iffy. TD1 Dark Zone. Yeah, I mean, they can be. Like, extraction shooters... Helldivers 2 is an extraction shooter. It's at 779,000 reviews. They're at 7,275, and they have allegedly, what, 200,000 sales already? That's a pretty big deal. 250,000, that's not bad. Fucking goddamn piece of shit. Fucking capture card, don't do that. See, flicker black. Okay. I don't really see how this competes at all with Battlefield or Black Ops. I mean, I guess sales window. So if there's people with what do you call it, conflicting interests and choosing one or the other.
Conflicting interests and multiplayer shooters.
I will also
there is going to be some overlap.
Yeah, I'll also point out that they only charged $40, so that was pretty wise. Because if I remember right, when Titanfall 2 launched between Battlefield 1 and which is one of the best Battlefield games ever made, and Call of Duty Infinite, I think it was not $40. I think it was like 60 or something like that. Which again, launching at like a high AAA value is just going to make it very, very nuts and hard to, charge for. So it's a bit too pricey. But charging $40 puts your game actually quite low, makes it quite attainable, especially when you have games charging like $70. So yeah, you can launch between both and probably do well. This game smells of woke, says Blake. I don't know what you're talking about. What could make you think of that? Yeah. It's kind of like a colorless, androgynous design to it. The characters don't look particularly good. That looks particularly artsy-fartsy, which is not a good sign. I don't particularly have an interest in this genre, so... But, yeah. Good for the developers, though, Embark Studios. And they're also independent, no publisher. So, regardless of their leaning, so to speak, the game's doing pretty well, and it's on to a good start for them. Only time is going to tell is basically how they maintain it, right? Like Helldivers 2. Are they going to make the same missteps? Or are they going to nosedive like Forever Winter did? Where they just nosedive off a cliff, like, just went straight off the ledge and straight to hell? Because that's what happened to Forever Winter. Now, Forever Winter isn't dead yet. Like, they're still developing it. And there's some big overhauls that might breathe the fresh air into it. But, gonna have to wait and see. Just like Dune Awakening, It's another one of those games that's kind of stuck in a bad spot. What happened to Forever Winter? Lack of vision is what happened to Forever Winter. Same thing that's happening to Dune Awakening. Both games have what I call lack of vision, meaning they have no actual idea of what game they're making. They release something, and it has an idea, and people really like that idea, and they like the parts of that idea that are there, but then they get further into the game, and that idea is just kind of like a concept, and it's not fully, like, committed to that. In the case of Forever Winter, it's sort of like the water system and all these other, like, hostile mechanics that punish you for not playing the game, where it's just like, what the fuck? Like, respect the player's time is rule number one. Like, the water mechanic, even as it was, like, I wasn't too bothered by it, because it was only, like, 90 days, and it's like, you could just do them at round, and you'd have, like, 90 days. A couple rounds. Now, but that's still, again, not respecting the player's time, because, again, you're relying on that for real-life stuff. So that was bad. And so that debacle just kept escalating, and they kept changing it and going back and forth. In the case of Dune Awakening, it's the PvP endgame. The entire game is PvE, save for like small, tiny, bite-sized like zones that have PvP in them, and that's it. And then at the end is just PvP, which is like, what? It's like a 180 like direction. So everybody who really enjoyed the game that got to the end game for Dune Awakening was like, what the fuck is this? This isn't even related. And
People
so
did enjoy it after a while. The draw distance, many technical problems. It just it was problems that just compiled and got worse as time went on, and the attempts to put the band-aid on did not stop the bleeding. If anything, it turned out it mildly slowed down the river.
yep.
On top of that, the MMO aspects people got more and more annoyed with, but the PvE aspects of the story people really got interested in.
Yeah, the PvE needs more love. Like, the Lost Harvest DLC was better than the story expansion for Dune Awakening. Yeah. It was one of those things where Lost Harvest was good, and then the main story was like, Princess Arieste doesn't want to marry because it would hurt her fifis, and she doesn't, because she doesn't want to do what other people tell her. And I'm like, oh my god, I've seen this fucking trope 1,000 times. It's the poor man's interpretation of what a royalty like problem is, what nobility has to deal with, and it's not representative. It's again a lowborn's interpretation, where a lowborn would view it as like, what's the word? Like, oh no, she didn't get to love who she wanted. Isn't that tragic? It's like, nobody fucking cares. Like, billions of people are fucking dying. And you're just too busy going like, I don't want to love you because it's not who I love. It's like, oh my... Oh, it's just like, that's a dumb reason. It makes me hate Princess Arieste because now she's just stupid. She's a moron. Paul was the bad guy all along? No, that's not at all the story in what do you call it? Dune Awakening. Dune Awakening is, I think it's like basically, it's more like, what if everything could go wrong, but somehow there's a war going on, but it's like a tame war, because only a few thousands of people are dying, rather than, billions across the stars. A smaller scale conflict. I know, I'm just saying. Look how Funcom maintains Age of Conan, then Dune pays the price as far as of its cycle, so yeah. Yeah, Dune Awakening had the potential to be something amazing. It was really good. And it still is good. Dune Awakening is awesome. Its early game for 60 hours worth of content, 60 to 70 hours content, is definitely worth it. It's worth picking up on sale. Just play it with a friend and have fun together, and just play for 60 to 70 hours, and then just don't engage with the Deep Desert content. It's because the Deep Desert content doesn't have anything to offer. Also, do not interact with people from the Deep Desert. Holy fuck. Some of them are chill, some of them are so toxic, it's not even funny. Like, they'll do all sorts of even
players make it, you have to be paranoid.
Yeah, you just be careful. You got some EVE Online levels of cringe. So yeah. But either way.
The worst part would be... Oh, yeah, the worst part due to Awaken, I would argue, is the fact that you have to constantly log in and maintain your base, even if you want to
pay
play
taxes.
Games.
That's, again, another problem. It connects to the same issue. So, how Dune Awakening should work it is, you can host your own server shard, is how it should work. And so, like, my friends can play on my shard, and then we can play the MMO together with other people that way. That's how they should do it. But they don't. They have it so that you have to pay money, a premium, to have a private server. And it's like, I ain't doing that. It's like fucking $20 per month, or like $30 per month. And that's fucking nuts. And there's not even that much content. It's not like World of Warcraft levels of content. I'd rather resub to WoW. And I don't want to resub to WoW, by the way. But that's what I'm saying. Because at least there's more content. Not that it's fucking good, it's fucking ass. Yeah, don't resub to WoW. Yeah, no shit, Squealy. That's me just saying, like, that's just me comparing how much I don't want to pay for a private server. Dune Awakening has had an exodus of PvP players. Yeah, I can imagine.
Because, yeah, when you have people just leaving the PvP because they're sick of the toxic PvP, the toxic players are going to realize it's just as toxic players left, and they all just drive each other away.
Well, they're also going to get bored.
Players yeah, they're going to get bored, and at some point, if it's all you have is just toxic players and you have nobody to prey on, well, congratulations, the toxic players just ruin the Deep Desert. It happens all the time.
Yep, the big thing with Dune Awakening is they need to take a page from World of Warcraft. Literally, you already are basically there. You're kind of there. You have a Atreides city, you've got a Harkonnen city. You've got Atreides quest, you've got Harkonnen quests. You've separated these two things. How PvP should work is it should be faction based, not individual based, not party based, faction based. None of this fucking like free for all shit. Faction based. You're either Atreides or you're Harkonnen or you're neutral. That's it. There's no in betweens. And if you're Harkonnen, you can't shoot other Harkonnen players. If you're Atreides, you can't shoot other Atreides players. That is how it should be done. That is how it should be done. But they don't do it that way. And that's part of the biggest problem with the game. Man, it sucks because I really enjoyed doing spice harvesting ops. Those were super fun.
But yeah, unless Funcom can get all this sorted out and they have less and less time to do it, it's just gonna die.
Yup. So let's move on to the next article that Chatfishies have brought us. Yeah, so Arc Raiders is doing well. It seems like people really like it. It's charged $40 to bring it back to that, and $40 is a big deal. That's good. That's actually good pricing. It's not a game that really appeals to me, but I don't care. Any game that charges $40 is commendable. Honestly, I think I'd actually be happy like if the standard for a new game is $40. $40 is not just reasonable, it's fair. Arc Raiders looks gay.
Yeah, it's a classic example of lower the price, you get more money.
Yeah, you get more sales. Obviously, you don't want to lower your prices too much because then you don't get as much of a profit. I think $40 is where it should be at. It's what I would intend to sell my game at when it's one day, at that stage, because I think 40 is just a good number. It's not asking for retarded amounts like 60, and the benefit of 40 is that you can buy 2 video games and not have spent $100. Versus if you buy 2 video games at 60, you've spent $120. Which is like, Jesus Christ. Now it's 70, so now it's $140. And that's before tax. I avoid any game with rainbows on it. I mean, it has a rainbow on it. I don't know what the rainbow is related to. I think it's just probably part of its art style. I just don't particularly care about the game. And so I'm not going to pretend to have any bigger opinions than that because I just don't care. I'm glad it's doing well and it's good for them. RuneScape Dev really wants its players to vote in favor of removing the game's least popular microtransactions. RuneScape developer Jagex is considering removing one of the game's least popular yet most pervasive layers of microtransactions. But instead of making the decision itself, it's letting its entire player base vote on whether or not to ditch them entirely. I like the idea of that on paper, but like, all it would take is one troll to like rig the thing. Oh, and the votes is definitely
hard with
rigged.
These online polls.
But it's rigged in the player's favor? Question mark. Yeah, because like I could see like I don't know, I could see like a hacker or a troll being like rigging to be like, yeah, keep it, and it's like fuck. Like if the big thing is it shows indecisiveness for me. You shouldn't let your players really vote on something unless they've already accounted for like everything, like it's already kind of like pre-planned.
Unless you can validate that it's your paying customers, your players that are the ones voting, it's gonna be a nightmare. Like it is possible, but I don't know if they're doing it. And one thing that's eyebrow raising, because I did remember reading about this a while ago. If they already know the players want it removed, why not just remove it? It's a simple question.
Yeah. But either way, let's continue reading. Plus, possible obtain small game playings. Treasure hunter effectively. So yeah, they're basically voting on whether or not to remove it. I don't have a particularly big opinion. I mean, the less microtransactions in a game, the better. But with a free-to-play game, they have to generate some sorts of revenue. I assume they have a different thing for that. I don't really play RuneScape because I think it's fucking boring. I think I'd rather blow my brains out. But yeah, that's besides the point. I don't get it. Why don't they just remove it? Yeah, that's just one of those things. I think that, like, a part of me feels like it's a weird PR stunt is what it feels like to me. Because, of course, it's like people are going to remove it. So they were intending to remove it, but they want to make it feel like the players like chose it. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna hand them like, oh yeah, the players can take credit for removing it, even though we were intending to remove it already. Because if they truly wanted to keep this thing, they would not vote for it. Like I can tell you that for a fact. That just doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. I don't get it. Also, Arc Raiders just another once human other type game. But isn't RuneScape like 30 years old at this rate? Sorta yes and no. So there are 3 RuneScape things that are going on as far as I know. There's classic RuneScape, then there's the more modern RuneScape, which isn't based on 30 years old one, and it's like more modern looking. Then there's RuneScape Dragon Wilds, which is a survival crafting game. That's actually kind of fun, but it desperately needs work. And so I'm just letting it cook before we stream it again. RuneScape Dragon Wilds was actually potentially interesting. That was more my alley. It's basically like a survival crafty thing. I'll show you. The big thing is with it though is that because there's 3 RuneScapes. RuneScape, which is the modern one, and then old school RuneScape, and then the RuneScape Dragon Wilds. The other 2 things are free to play. It seems that okay, they're actually recovering the reputation. Yeah, the one I was interested in is Dragon Wilds, because we streamed this and we had a lot of fun with it.
It barely resembles RuneScape.
It barely resembles it. It has like some stats and like references and characters, but it's more like
It's got the rune system.
it's more like Valheim. That's about what it is. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and I want to play with chat and play with Squealy Beely and everybody and Buzzy Wuzzy. But I don't want to play it until it's like done or like further along. There's about 12.6 hours worth of content in it, and yeah, they're getting closer to release. They're on 0.9.2. So they've been pushing this along. I would put this on your wish list. Only 30 buckos. Binskers wasn't the biggest fan, but to be fair, Binskers also played it solo, which is not something I'd recommend. Binskers. He's a Binskers got whiskers.
Binsky Gaming.
And I also wouldn't really recommend it right now. Mostly because it's best to just wait and see what happens. Binsky Dev really wants paper to play. Any thoughts on this, Squealy, before I close this article? You look kidding?
RuneScape really wants its players to vote in favor of removing the game's least popular microtransactions.
Oh.
It's probably just a PR thing.
Yeah,
And I didn't hear most of what was going on. It's like, why would you even put it to a vote? Just remove them.
I think it's just a PR stunt. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's good that it's gone because I mean the players won't have to be charged, and so that's good. But yeah. All right, let's see. Next up we have is Amazon have reportedly canceled their Lord of the Rings MMO again. Oh my god, that's funny because Chatfish were just talking about it. It's dead again.
Yay!
I'm not
There can
surprised.
only be one Lord of the Rings MMO.
Really janky ass.
The one to rule them all. It's still kind of.
At least it's faithful, I guess. Like it's more faithful. I mean, Tolkien would hate it, but like that's besides what. Tolkien was a purist though, because I've read his accounts on things. I'm pretty sure he would hate Peter Jackson's films. I'm pretty sure he would hate like the video games. I'm pretty sure he would hate everything. Like,
He didn't like adaptation.
yeah,
but
because
he
it kind of
might-
distorts his meaning.
He might enjoy it regardless of the fact, because it's still a good movie, despite the fact not being super faithful to the books.
Maybe, but remember, it's a different era.
Yep.
Seeing that much violence on TV was shocking.
Oh yeah.
Like I've seen a
Never
lot of
mind.
old movies, and when people get shot in old movies, they just like, oh, they hold their guts and they fall over dead, and it's sort of romanticized. Nowadays, it's visceral, like by comparison. Violence and like sex in general and all that stuff, like has completely gone to one extreme. Oh my god, Beano having unpopular opinions. I read some stuff on
always.
Tolkien and I don't like the guy. That's like somebody telling me that they don't like Frank Herbert because he was like mean to his son or something. It's like, okay, but the big thing is we're separating the art from the artist. Like that's the big thing here.
And we don't even know the context of why he was mean to the kid.
Sudden Cringe says Tolkien's son didn't like the movies because they had turned into an action movie, so probably the man himself would share the sentiment. Yep, it's funny because when I think about watching Lord of the Rings extended editions, there's lots of moments where like there isn't a lot of action happening, and it's kind of slow paced. Now the books are even more that way, but the big thing is that the action in there is way heightened in the movies compared to when it is in the books. Like it dedicates like a good 30 minutes to the action, sometimes 40, and so it's like of their like 4-hour runtime, and there's long like action sequences like that. When I remember, it's been so long since I read the books. I really do need to reread them again. I remember the action being shorter in the books.
There was also lots of songs in the books.
Hmm.
Like there's just full segments where it's just.
Well, there was songs. There was also a lot more details. Like for example, in Gondor, the Gondorians, the orcs only breached the first level, and they didn't breach the first level. They breached the gate and got into the courtyard, and then were repulsed. Then they were not only repulsed, but when the Rohirrim arrived, the Knights of Dol Amroth, if I remember right, rode out and sallied forth from Minas Tirith to go fight alongside the Rohirrim in Pelennor Fields. And also, Pelennor Fields isn't just this big giant like field that's like brown. It's like the farmlands. So it is the farmlands, and the farmlands have like a large wall that runs around the edge. So that was one thing. Like, there's several things there. Also, the walls were black because the way they were made, and so there was like a lot of things that were wrong.
Still a great scene though.
Yeah, it is. I'm not a big fan of the Siege of Minas Tirith in the movie though, mostly because it's like they fall back to every tier, which implies that they've lost like 90% of their population, because all that's left is like the top tier, and there's no way all those people at the bottom could fit in the top. So it's like those people are dead, and the orcs don't take prisoners; they kill them. So you're toast. You're toast, chat. Next up, we have It's About Redemption, says Peter Molyneux. God fucking damn it. Says Masters of Albion will make up for decades of overpromising on things. No, it won't. You're going to die. Look at how old you are. Not only are you going to die, and I'm going to feel bad for your family, and etc., etc., the usual spiel, but you're going to die, and you're not going to have produced a single game where you didn't overpromise something. And I know that because you're overpromising already. Because I can tell you right now, Masters of Albion, and I hope to God I eat my goddamn words, as somebody who actually likes Peter Molyneux's games, but does not like Peter Molyneux, as a victim of Peter Molyneux, because I like Black and White and I like Fable, the Masters of Albion promises to basically be Black and White, Dungeon Keeper, Fable, and his last game he made where you can like combine shit together to make items or whatever. It promises to be like 4 games in one. All right, let me tell you how that works out historically for most AAA companies. When you try to make 2 separate games, like let's say Total War, for instance, Total War has a campaign map and then a battle map, right? And these 2 things are 2 different video games. Star Wars Empire at War has the same thing, a galactic map and then a ground battle map and a space battle map. Those are 3 distinct modes. The campaign map is more shallow, and much more shallow than the space battles, and the ground battles have a lot more detail. Versus Total War, where the campaign map has a lot more depth, and the battles have also an equal amount of depth to them as well. Because again, there's the less little games you add in your game, the more refined your game can be, the one game you're making. And so when you add these different game modes or game versions or whatever, it detracts from the overall thing because you're developing and putting aside resources for other things. Modern Total War's campaign maps are notoriously bad, save for 3 Kingdoms, right? 3 Kingdoms has a good campaign map, but it also came at the cost of the battles, where the battles are kind of monotonous and get a little bit stale. So it's again because once you're developing 2 games side by side. One's going to always be trump out the other. One's always going to be better than the other. And so if you're making Masters of Albion, which is basically 4 fucking games with a studio that only has a pittance of the, budget, you don't have AAA money, Peter. You don't. You don't have that. You're going to be developing something. You're biting off more than you can chew. You're already fucking up. Like, you would be better if you just made Dungeon Keeper and like you can be like the hero and fight stuff. And that's it. That's 2 games. Not 4. Because 4 is just fucking impossible. Peter Molyneux, he's going to his grave doing what he fucking loved. Over-promising. Promising you the world and giving you nothing. Or giving you like a beta that barely works. AKA Black and White 1, Black and White 2. Both unfinished games, by the way. Black and White 2, it's so goddamn funny that they tried to ship that as like completed, because in the source files there's a skirmish mode, a multiplayer mode, and a bunch of other options that were disabled because they couldn't finish it in time. Like their creatures actually working and having more details to them and getting bigger, like that disabled. They couldn't fit that in the game in time. They ran out of time. The game is so fucking like half cooked, it's not even funny. It's fucking raw. As a reminder, chat, there's a max tier bounty on Hugo Fugi. Don't forget, we are very close to today's goal. Actually, no, we're not. We're a quarter of the way to today's goal. Almost a third.
You're
Almost.
getting there.
Almost.
Yeah,
Getting there.
Honestly, pessimism until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
If proven otherwise.
Like Peter Molyneux, I just don't trust him, dude. He just can't make games. I just
He's
don't believe him.
Beelzebub, the Lord of Lies.
He just hasn't made a game.
Ability theory is a wonderful thing, isn't it? Hey, you've messed up before. Am I supposed to believe you'll not do it again?
Oh my god, fine. Let's fucking read what he wrote so I can be more upset about it.
Yes, please, rage more.
I think in that I'm going to assume these quotes are him, by the way, because, yeah, I'm just going to read his quotes and I'm just going to respond to that. I think that line in Fable, for every choice a consequence, wasn't delivered on well enough, Molyneux explained. I think the possession mechanic that we had in Dungeon Keeper wasn't delivered on enough. The open world freedom that we had in Black and White, I think it was good at the start, but it didn't deliver enough at the end. You're right. None of them delivered enough at the end. Actually, Dungeon Keeper, I think, is about as close it got to being like a finished game of all these things. Molyneux then reportedly started tearing up saying, oh my god, he's doing his crying thing? And I don't know if it's going to work. It's so important to me, this game, because to a certain extent, it's about redemption. You're a funny little old man now. You're so old. Oh my god. I admit, that means I'm
He's
old.
66.
Oh my god, he's actually gonna die. See, I actually don't want him to die. I'd love you to redeem yourself. But, like, if you're gonna redeem yourself and this is gonna be your final game, dude, like, you need to start fucking cutting it down into size. Something bite-sized that's actually achievable. You can't pull a Kibbs and make your, like, world dream game because you're gonna dedicate your whole life to it. You spent most of your life fucking promising people the world and giving them a half-eaten cookie. I admit now that I did overpromise on things, he says. Oh, you admit now. Wonderful. And said things that I shouldn't have said about curiosity. God help me. But I only ever did that because I thought it was the right thing to do at the time. And so Masters of Albion is a redemption title for me. But also it's my last game. It just is. He said that before, I think. Conscious overpromising again, Molyneux added. For me, it's the most significant title that I've ever done for sure. And I'll tell you the amazing thing. It's going to fucking work. It really is. It's like nothing you've ever played before. But it's still familiar, unbelievably familiar. It is Black and White. It is Dungeon Keeper. And it is Fable. But it's a completely new genre. Hello, fucking Hideo Kojimbo. And it shouldn't really work, but
it's
it does.
its own genre.
Step aside, Hideo Kojimbo. Step aside, Todd Howard. God Peter is on his way. Boom, 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 boom.
He'll get puts on his top hat
Peter
and starts singing.
Tower.
It just works.
Peter, God Emperor of fucking promises, has arrived. Todd Howard bends
Not
the
only will
knee.
it cure cancer, it'll also make your dick big.
Like, Kojimbo and Todd Howard would both kneel before him, you know? Basically, the two both Kojimbo and fucking...
Kojimbo doesn't lie. He's just stupid.
You know, but here's the thing. Kojimbo and Howard, imagine them as Primarchs, right? Then there's fucking Peter, the God Emperor of Promises. He just got that golden armor and his old little sad face. He starts crying about telling you how he fucked up. He tries to guilt
Then
trip
does it
you.
again.
Then
and
tells
again.
you, Because he
And
did this
again.
before with his previous game. He cried about like something about his dad. Okay, because he's like, my dad would really want me to make this and see it, but he's no longer here. And his business partner was looking at him with a look of fucking disgust. I kid you not. He did not harbor a fucking iota of sadness for him. He didn't care. He genuinely just didn't want to be there. Oh my god. I know people are going to say, come on, it won't be your last game, he said, but you know, I'm 66 years old. I'm working as hard as I've ever worked in my life, and I just haven't got the energy left to do this again. Everything that I've done, it just feels like this is the bet, you know? I put all my chips on the table. Here's the thing. I would like him to actually redeem himself, but when he promises again the world, he apologizes about promising, and then literally in the next fucking few sentences, then promises that it's going to be the best game we've ever seen from him. Not only is it going to be the best game, it's going to be Dungeon Keeper, it's Black and White, and Fable all rolled into one. And that he admits that previously all three of those titles he couldn't deliver on. That all three of them were missed. Like, so you missed on all three of those previous titles. Yet you say that you can make this game, which is all three of those titles in complexity, yet bigger and better. Like, again, he's doing that thing he did fucking back then, where he's like, I'm sorry about this thing, but this thing, and he's already building this thing up to be this monumental thing that he cannot possibly make. By the way.
Yeah, and he keeps saying unbelievably familiar. Yeah, I just can't help but focus on that as, no, we don't want it to be familiar, because if you start seeing it's unbelievably familiar, yeah, we are familiar with your previous work, you keep messing up.
Oh my
You know
god.
what this feels like? This feels like the beginning of a heist movie where the old guy goes, I have another heist in me, I have another like scan in me, my dude. Like I'm assembling a team. Basically, like he's assembling like 4 half-finished games, hoping that like by your parts combined you're a full game now. Like what the hell? That's not how it works, but okay. I don't know. Hello.
Hello, it's me Bino.
Maybe no.
Yeah, you get a Mibino because it's Halloween tomorrow.
Next up is Crimson Desert exclusive preview. IGN first.
It has been almost 6 years since Crimson Desert was
That's a
first
weird
revealed
game
to the
name.
world.
Shut up, fucking dude. Okay, maybe I need you to actually talk a little bit, because I don't actually know what the fuck this
It's
is.
frequently been cited as something of an everything game. An open world adventure with sky islands,
Looks
mechanical
unreal.
dragons, wrestling moves,
It does look
interdimensional
unreal.
gateways, interacting elemental effects.
This one, it's another open world game.
But the more that's been revealed, the more there's been the sense that Crimson Desert may be a lot of pieces in need of a whole. Finding that complete picture was my main objective when I visited Pearl Abyss's studio in Seoul for this month's IGN First. And while
It's
I can't
Korean.
say I found it yet, multiple hours of hands-on playtime has revealed a game
No, it
maybe
uses
not
the
as
black
strange as you'd
the
expect.
black space
In
engine
fact,
is
Crimson Desert
proprietary,
feels pretty
developed in-house by
straightforward.
Pearl Abyss.
What the fuck? It's
Oh,
like a
Black
mech,
Desert Online
and
game.
there's
It's a Black Desert
Pearl
people.
Abyss has crafted a reasonably traditional open-world adventure, made up of multiple regions peppered with towns, outposts, and castles. There's the usual collection of main and optional quests, plus classic distractions like fishing. You'd be forgiven for not realizing this though. Pearl Abyss has put almost all of its promotional efforts into showcasing boss fights. Not only that, but Crimson Desert's blend of traditional medieval fantasy with sci-fi and steampunk elements does make it seem like it's being pulled in several directions at once.
yeah. I bet the story for this is gonna be ass.
When you're on the ground and seeing how all these elements interact though, it doesn't feel quite so alien. The continent of Pywell is perhaps less like a typical Tolkien-esque fantasy world and more akin to Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, I don't want to look at this anymore.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Mostly because don't really want to use IGN footage.
Disgusting creatures.
You know what's funny? Like, calling something akin to Dungeons and Dragons once was interesting. Nowadays, most people go like, ugh, ew, you know?
Well, because the reality is that it's just bland.
Yep.
it became gay. It became the gay
Well, no,
fantasy.
like Dungeons and Dragons as a setting is like the blandest thing possible
And
when
also
it comes to
became gay.
fantasy.
Dangerous YouTube video struck down for bypassing Windows 11 count setup. Microsoft really wants you to log in with full connected Microsoft account Windows 11. Well, go figure. The people who make videos how to bypass it get struck down. I'm not even surprised. I don't even know what to say beyond that. Like, it's, of course, like, I don't know what you were
Suppress the
expecting.
information as much as possible.
Microsoft's never gonna let you do anything. Like, if Microsoft, you find a fucking loophole, don't be surprised if Microsoft's gonna fucking nuke you. Like, they don't
should-
fucking care. They don't like
Instead
you.
of putting
I know.
instead of putting that video,
You will
on
use the
YouTube,
shittiest fucking OS possible, and you're gonna like it.
yeah, if I knew how to do that, I would, instead of putting on YouTube, I would put it on forums like you get what I mean? Those forums that like you post and other people can download it and like shit like that. Because I don't know. I think the Windows 11 is the first time that I've seen so many
Okay.
people go like, no, I would die on the Windows 10 hill.
So yeah, this thing is a garbage. Like, the reality is that, I mean, I don't really know what to say beyond
It's
like,
called Windows. Windows doesn't have a viable competitor, so they don't really. So they
well, it's
keep
not
going
even
with
that.
this.
It's like, okay, dangerous YouTube video struck down for bypassing Windows 11 count setup, because of course they're gonna like take it down. Like, Microsoft's not gonna let you fucking get around anything that's annoying. Like, they're not gonna let you do it. And so them taking stuff down isn't a surprise. A creator had 2 Windows guides taken down by YouTube's automated system, allegedly in violation of harmful, dangerous content policy. Yeah, this isn't a surprise. This is honestly, like, it's shit, but like, it's gonna happen. Not only is it gonna happen, there's literally nothing you can do about it. Like, I know not to be a doomer here, but like, it's fucking Microsoft, man. Like, the best bet you can hope for is that, like, we have more hope of fixing the new Halo than we do of this. Like, if that makes sense. Like, they're gonna push their new Windows shit onto you, whether you like it or not, and you're not gonna be able to get around it. Because Windows, like, is like their main bread and butter. We can maybe push back on Halo. We can maybe push back on Gears. We can push back on other things. Those things are battlegrounds that are viable. This is what I would call lost ground, as in, like, it was lost ages ago. It ain't coming back. Sadly, like, the age of Microsoft, like, not producing garbage is just gone. Not going to Windows, not going to 11? No. Yeah, you're going there.
I'm not going to 11. You can't take me there.
Yeah,
You
the
get a
top
new
th-
computer,
Yeah,
you
here's our
have to
top
use
3
11.
revenue: server products and tools, 98.44 billion. Microsoft 365 commercial products and cloud services,
Why am I in the slums?
87.77 billion.
What the fuck? Oh, wrong thing. Good thing I didn't open that. I'm gonna cover my screen because I accidentally opened the wrong thing and I got paranoid.
He opened my DMs and like, what the hell?
Then I ban you.
Bean is the best.
All
Bean
right.
is my best friend.
That's
yeah.
all the articles Chatfish gave Kib. They didn't give me any more to work with. So that's it. That's all she wrote, Chat Bros. With that being said, Chatfish, thanks for watching. Thanks for your generous donations. We got almost a third of the way to today's goal. Better luck tomorrow. Good night, chat. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
Good night, my dude.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Chatfish.